世界佛教国家里面，斯里兰卡是个重要的国家。
Chethiya Mahapirivana and the China Tibetology Research Center, and to strengthen the bilateral relations and Buddhist studies and explore potential areas of cooperation between Sri Lanka and China for the dispensation of Buddhism. We will start today's proceedings by first observing the 5 precepts. For that, I invite Mahanayaka Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Most Venerable Malwane Pannasara Mahanayaka Mahathera.
සෑම දිනම පන්සිල් සමාදන් වෙන්න සූදානම් වෙන්න নমස්කාරය කියන්නේ.
භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස.
බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි පාණාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි อดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමාදට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි සෑම දිනකටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි වාඩි වෙන්න.
I think among everyone here at the Parama Chethiya Pirivana, the person who I believe can best explain the intention behind today's gathering and welcome everyone to today's event is none other than our most venerable Dr. Mai Tipe Vimalasara Mahathera. So my next invitation goes out to the Chief Incumbent and Director of the Paramadhamma Chethiya Mahapirivana, Deputy Registrar of the Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, General Secretary General of the World Buddhist Sangha Council, Venerable Dr. Mai Tipe Vimalasara Mahathera, to address the gathering and to explain the intention behind today's gathering.
Good morning and මගේ කතාව පටන් ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා හිටගෙන ඉන්න අයට පහසු තැන් වලින් වාඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් ළමයින්ටත් කොඩි පැත්තකින් තියලා පුටු අරගෙන වාඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ විදිහට සංවිධානය කරන කරුණාකර සංවිධායක මහත්තුරු හිටගෙන ඉන්න සෑම කෙනෙක්ම වාඩි වෙන්න ඕනේ. නමෝ තස් භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Most Venerable Mahanayaka Mahathera of the Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha in Sri Lanka, one of the important Sangha Council, our Mahanayaka Mahathera, I highly respectfully receiving you on this very historical occasion. Most Venerable Dr. Divyagaha Yasassi Nayaka Mahathera, he is the leading Buddhist figure in Sri Lanka. In our neighboring temple, he was a former principal of Paramadhamma, our teachers training educational center. Most Venerable Dr. Walpola Piyananda Nayaka Mahathera, the Chief Sangha Nayaka of United States of America, and also the Chief Incumbent of the Pamankada Temple, and revered Venerable monks and nuns, our distinguished guest, Mr. Lee the Chan, the Deputy Director of the Cultural Center, the Tibetology Research Center in China, with your distinguished scholars and the guest, and also Mr. Wan Kai, our Chinese embassy officers, the third secretary, and Mr. Jin Sen, the officer of the Chinese embassy, and ladies and gentlemen, my dear children. Today is the very important and historical occasion of the Paramadhamma Chethiya Pirivana, which is stood for 182 years on this earth. 182 years is not a simple thing. It's a long journey, which is started in 1841 by the Most Venerable Valanesi Siddhartha Mahanayaka Thera. There were no any educational center in Sri Lanka at that time to study mainly for the Buddhist monks. That was the colonial period. The Sri Lanka was under the colonial period for over 400 years. So this is the first Buddhist educational institution. We will discuss about it in the time to come in the morning and the afternoon sessions. My duty is today to welcome all of you and to inform you about the intention behind it. Today we are going to sign a memorandum of understanding between these two countries, mainly from the Parama Pirivena and the China Tibetology Research Center in China. The intention behind of the signing of this memorandum of understanding is to exchange programs and to develop our cultural relations. The China and Sri Lanka has a very, very vast cultural relations many years. We still remember the names of the Fahian. We still remember the name of Hyun Siang and Itseng, those who written all the important places of Sri Lanka. Therefore, we have a very vital, important relationship between these two countries. And today, we are going to execute one of the important documents over here in this gathering. For that, you have come all the way from China. I sincerely receiving you at this historical occasion. On this occasion that our most venerable Mahanayak Mahathera is gracing. He is one of the important figures, Sangha figure in our Sangha community in Sri Lanka, including all the venerable monks and the nuns. And also that today it's a gracing our Sri Lanka's University Grant Commission's chairman, the senior professor, Mr. Sampath Amartunga, and also some scholars from the Javadhanapura University, and all the distinguished guests surrounding in this place. I'm not going to say each and every one of your name, but I can't forget some of the names because this is educational institutions. Of course, some universities are affiliated with our educational institution. Mr. Captain Ajit Peris, he is the chairman of the Sinek University in Sri Lanka. So Sinek University is one of the important maritime university and our main Dayak also in our temple. And he is gracing this occasion. And also the Mr. Asoka Hettigoda, the industrialist, his father was the founder of Ayurvedic medical system in Sri Lanka, Siddha Lepa. He is gracing over here. Dr. G.A. Somaratna, he is all the way from Hong Kong. He is Buddhist scholar. He is currently attached to the Hong Kong Buddhist University. And Hong Kong University. He is here and he will submit his paper in this afternoon. And our Dr. Prasanna Gunasena, he is here. He is the leading our surgeon, senior surgeon in Sri Lanka. All the busy schedules, he is not forgetting to attend this ceremony. And Dr. Vinay Ariyaratna, he is the chairman of the Sarvodaya movement of Sri Lanka. And many other guests are also sitting here. I sincerely welcome each and every one of you. I'm not going to say many things about it, but I must say one thing. This is one of the historical occasion of our Pirivena. 182 years that we were not signed any single of MOU with China. But we were fortunate to sign a MOU with India in some time ago, into one of the Indian universities. So that we have done. And we believe that this is the good opportunity to sign an MOU with China. And irrespective of any countries, that we have to work together in order to promote cultural relationship between these two countries. And this cultural relationship is so vital to improve our conditions in our country, education in our country, and every aspect. I firmly believe from today onwards, we will be able to execute all the necessary articles which we are mentioned in our MOU, and that will be help to develop the Buddhist educations, and mainly for the Tibetology, and also other aspects of our venerable monks, and also the Chinese scholars. From there, we will have the exchange program and many things to do. We will discuss about it later. And I sincerely welcome each and every one of you. ගෞරවනීය Okay. Just now arrived my very closest friend, Mr. Dilip Javir. He is the chairman of the leading network, Dharana television network. He's from my hometown. ගෞරවනීය අපේ මහානායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ ඇතුළු අපේ යසස්වි නායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ අපේ පියනන්ද නායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ අපේ බුද්ධසිරි නායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ ඇතුළු මහා සංඝරත්නය ඉතාමත්ම ගෞරවයෙන් යුක්තව කෙටියෙන් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී පිළිගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ පිරිවෙනේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේලා අපේ කොටහිනි නාරද හාමුදුරුවන්ගේ චීන සම්බන්ධතා ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. ඒ හාමුදුරුවොත් අද දවසේදී වැඩම කරන්නට යෙදුණා. තාමත් ගෞරවයෙන් යුක්තව මේ අවස්ථාවේදී පිළි අරගනිමින් අද දවසේ කටයුතු වලට මේක අවස්ථාවක් කර දෙන අපේ බ්‍රිගේඩියර් බාලසූරිය මහත්මයාත් ඒ වගේම බ්‍රිගේඩියර් රාජකරුණා මහත්මයාත් ඊටමත් ගෞරවයෙන් යුක්තව මේ අවස්ථාවේදී පිළිගන්න ලබනවා. ඔබ සෑම දිනාටම තෙරුවන් සරණින් නිදුක්භාවය, නිරෝගීභාවය, චිරජීවනයේම නෝඩුව ලැබේවා. මේ කරන්නා වූ කටයුතු සර්ව ප්‍රකාරයෙන්ම සාර්ථක වේවායි අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කර සිටිනවා. Thank you very much. ශේෂේ.
Thank you, Venerable Mahathera. Next, we will be watching a short documentary on the Parama Chetya Mahapirivana and its history. Enjoy.
විමලසාර බෝස 开始的 රත්මලාන පරම ධම්ම චේතිය පිරිවෙන් 就是斯里兰卡的最重要的佛教中心。这个寺庙里面是一个佛教国家里面，斯里兰卡是个重要的国家，佛教文化、佛教教育都是它的重要的意义。那么这样来说，18世纪以后，斯里兰卡的教育跟佛教的关系非常非常大。现在的教育来说，也是一个佛教发展过来的教育。1841年，瓦拉尼是悉达的高僧开始的。Ratmalana Parama Dhamma Chetya Piriven 就是斯里兰卡的最重要的佛教中心。这个寺庙里面的佛教就是一边教育，它的意义跟佛教有很大的关系。那么70年代来说，这个里面的考生马巴拉格玛比普拉萨尔考生就是一个艺术学家，也是一个教育学家。他来说这里的很重要的工作就是教育的发展。他有好多学生，后面还有很多学生就是他的佛教这面过来的人。以外，现在来说，斯里兰卡Parama Dhamma Chetya Piriven Ratmalana 就是斯里兰卡国家的现在年代的最重要的佛教中心。马伊蒂贝维马拉萨的博士考生就是现在的寺庙主任。他的工作的重要的部分就是世界有跟文化交流的工作。现在来说，中国、印度、美国等等国家都有斯里兰卡跟佛教交流。现在我们的寺庙里面也有中国过来的佛教的师父们来这里学习，他们跟世界佛教也是斯里兰卡的古老佛教可以带过去很多国家文化交流。
Among all the countries in the world, arrival of the Arahat Mahinda from India in 3rd century BC is one of the most historical events that took place within Sri Lanka, which is a country that consists of both natural resources and values. As a result of the arrival of Arahat Mahinda, Mahavihara Educational Institute was established in Anuradhapura. Due to the establishment of the Mahavihara, education in Sri Lanka was nurtured for many centuries. But by the middle of the 18th century, education in Sri Lanka started to decline. After the declinement of Buddhist education, Venerable Balivita Asarana Sarana Sangaraja Mahathera, who lived in the middle of the 18th century, started a meaningful and excellent educational tradition unique to the country with his direct intervention. Venerable Balivita Mahathera started an educational institution called Palmadulla. The work carried out focusing the Palmadulla Educational Institute was successful, and Venerable Bodhisattva Gunopetha Balanesh Siddhartha Mahathera was notable among the figures who confirmed the educational tradition following the footsteps of Sangaraja Mahathera. In the year 1841, Most Venerable Balanesh Siddhartha Mahathera started the historic Parama Mahapirivana in a small hut which was covered with coconut leaves, which later on went on to become the pinnacle of Sri Lankan Buddhist education. Within a very short time period, the Paramadhamma Pirivana, which was nurtured by monks like Most Venerable Balanesh Siddhartha Mahathera and Venerable Ratmalane Dharmaloka Mahathera, became the main educational institution for scholars from Sri Lanka as well as from all around the world. Bodhisattva Gunopetha Balanesh Siddhartha Mahathera produced two great personalities after him to inaugurate two main educational traditions in this country. That is, Most Venerable Hikkaduwe Sumangala Nayaka Mahathera and Venerable Ratmalane Sri Dharmaloka Nayaka Mahathera. Venerable Hikkaduwe Nayaka Mahathera started Vidyodaya Pirivana in 1873, and Venerable Ratmalane Nayaka Mahathera started the Paliyagoda Vidyalankara in 1875. The Vidyodaya Pirivana laid the basic foundation for the Vidyodaya University, which was started in 1959, and the Kalaniya Vidyalankara Pirivana, which emerged at the same time, was the source of strength for the Vidyalankara University. It should be especially mentioned here that the historical Ratmalana Paramadhamma Mahapirivana was the basic basis for starting Vidyodaya and Vidyalankara Pirivana and for paving the path for those Pirivanas to develop into universities. Among the Buddhist monks who lived at the Paramadhamma Pirivana, which was like the greatest harvest in the Sasana, the most prominent monks are Venerable Balane Sri Siddhartha Nayaka Mahathera, Venerable Hikkaduwe Sumangala Nayaka Mahathera, and Venerable Ratmalane Sri Dharmaloka Nayaka Mahathera. These prelates engaged in international Buddhist missionary work and performed excellent religious service for Buddha Sasana during their time. In the course of time, the erudite monks who became dominant in this holy land from time to time also carried out great missions for the betterment of the Sasana, and Kalasuri Mapalagama Vipulasara Mahathera, who became dominant in the 20th century, started to implement a series of projects to popularize the name of Paramadhamma Pirivana throughout the world. On 14 January 1960, he assumed the position of chief incumbent of the Paramadhamma Mahapirivana and also became the principal of Ratmalana Monks Teachers Training College. Venerable Vipulasara Thero focused on Buddhist art and achieved national and international fame due to his excellent artistic skills. Mapalagama Thero was especially known for his paintings and designing of Buddha statues. Some of the Buddha statues that were designed by him in Sri Lanka are Nugegoda Kandepata Temple's Buddha statue, Sambuddhaloka Temple's Buddha statue in Fort, the Buddha statue at Ananda College's temple in Colombo, the Buddha statue located at Bihar Mahadevi Park, the replica of Alkana Buddha statue in front of Bandaranaike International Memorial Hall, the repairing of the broken nose of the Samadhi Buddha statue in Anuradhapura Mahaviharya was done with the contribution of Aotearoa, and the necessary guidance was given by Professor Senarath Paranavithana. In order to protect local artists at a time when local arts and culture was declining, the National Art Fund was established and steps were taken to protect local artists through it. The reconstruction of Buttala Maligavila Buddha statue was an excellent work done under the guidance of Mr. Ranasinghe Premadasa, who was the president at that time. Venerable Vipulasara Mahathera contributed a lot towards spreading the culture of Sri Lanka throughout the world, and with regard to this, many scholars refer to him as the unofficial cultural ambassador. With the aim of spreading the pride of Buddhism in Sri Lanka around the world, he started carrying out Buddhist missionary work in countries like China, Japan, India, Thailand, Taiwan, Burma, and South Korea. The special incident that happened in the meantime is that due to the strong relationship with China, many Chinese students started to enter the Buddha monastic order by ordaining in Sri Lanka. It was as a result of the foreign Buddhist missionary service of Mapalagama Vipulasara Thero that many Buddhist monks were able to go on Buddhist missions to African countries which were not previously visited by any Buddhist monk. Another great work done by Venerable Mapalagama Vipulasara Thero is the creation of the national emblem of Sri Lanka. This logo was designed in a meaningful way by using traditional local symbols and the Dharma Chakra. That same state logo, which was designed back then, is being used in Sri Lanka up to date. The Dagaba, which was built in Japan's Yomiuri Park, which was built similar to the Anuradhapura Parama Dagaba according to the plans and instructions of Vipulasara Thero. During the Pope's visit to Sri Lanka, the special pavilion built for the ceremony was also designed by Vipulasara Mahathera. He also created a Buddha statue similar to the Alkana Buddha statue to be placed in front of the Sri Lanka booth at the Expo exhibition in Spain. It is with utmost respect we should gratefully remember the invaluable work done by Vipulasara Thero to bring the Sri Lankan pride and the pride of the Ratmalana Parama Dhamma Chethiya Mahapirivana to the attention of the world. After the demise of Mapalagama Vipulasara Thero, Venerable Madapata Dhammasara Thero became the chief incumbent of the temple. After that, the Pirivana came into light again because of Venerable Dr. Maitipe Vimalasara Thero, who is currently holding the position of the chief incumbent of the Pirivana since the end of the year 2015. He can be known as one of the main Buddhist monks in Sri Lanka who is engaged in Buddhist missionary activities globally. Vimalasara Thero getting appointed as the Secretary General of the World Buddhist Sangha Council in the year 2024 is one of the most prominent incidents that took place. Due to the international relations, one of the most special incidents that took place in the Pirivana is the ordination of 2 Chinese young students. This also contributed to strengthening the existing friendship between China and Sri Lanka. Venerable Maitreya Vimalasarathera was engaged in Indian Buddhist missionary activities for a period of 20 years, and his higher education was done at Kolkata University and the prestigious Benaras Hindu University. Simultaneously, he was appointed as the Deputy Secretary of the Indian Mahabodhi Society and as the head of the Buddha Gaya Mahabodhi Mahaviharya, and contributed towards ordaining Buddhist Indian students and spreading Buddhist teachings across India. The ordained monks were then given further opportunities for education at the Parama Pirivana. As a result of his involvement in Dhamma propagation in the West, he took the initiative to start many temples, especially in the United States of America. Based on the Dharma Vijaya Buddhist temple in Los Angeles, he participated in lecture conferences in various countries of the world. He was appointed to the position of the Secretary General of the World Buddhist Sangha Council, which was held in New Zealand this year, which is one of the most influential Buddhist organizations in the world. Venerable Maitreya Vimalasarathera, who is the current chief incumbent and the director of Paramadhamma Pirivana in Vatmalana, currently serves as the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Buddhist Congress, the President of the Sri Lankan National Centre of the Asian Buddhist Conference for Peace, Advisor of the Sri Lanka Bhikkhuni Order, President of the National Art Front, the General Secretary of the Asian Buddhist Congress, and the Deputy Secretary of the Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha. May the Paramadhamma Mahapirivana be blessed with enduring strength and wisdom, continuing to thrive and illuminate minds for many years to come. May it remain a beacon of learning, spirituality, and peace.
Next, my invitation goes out to the Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Sri Lanka, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, to address the gathering.
Very good morning. Arya Mahasangaratne Avasarai, Chinese delegation and Excellency. I can see a lot of familiar faces here. All of them have devoted their lives to protect and develop Buddhism, not only in the country, also in the world. Not this present generation, even their parents, they have done the same. First of all, let me thank Nayaka Swamindran Wahansa for giving me the opportunity to say a few words at this memorable and most important event. Everybody knows in higher education today, I can't just sit and wait here and talk. 75 days strike is going on, and we have settled down almost everything. And all the unions are now at the UGC, my office, waiting until I go to my place. Everybody calling, where are you, where are you? And I have informed everybody that I am at Parama dhamma chetiya pirivena, which I cannot just say sorry and leave early. There is a speech for me. Then, especially for Chinese delegation, what we have to say, this is like a university. Pirivena was the school taught to everybody in the ancient time. That was the university as well. Nayakatero of this Pirivena, who invented this in 1841, that is the history. So Cambridge, Oxford, everybody, they take their church and the history, everything, and they take that history also when they say the Oxford is, this much old, so on. So like that, this is the pride that we have. So Parama dhamma chetiya pirivena invented two another very important Buddhist monks who have invented another two pirivena in this Colombo limits. So those have become national universities in 1950s. Now those two universities, the history is more than 150 years. So that is the legacy of this Parama dhamma chetiya pirivena. So one of them is the largest university in the country today in terms of student population. The other one is second or the third. The most important thing is this was invented to follow Mahaviharya tradition. The Mahaviharya tradition, that is 2600 years old. That was again invented by King Devanampitis with the help of Mihindu Maharatan Vahanse. So that is the history that we have today. But unfortunately, lot of people doesn't, they don't want to mention all these. They keep quiet. Not only these big universities, even big schools in the country, invented by the Buddhist monks, invented by this place. So even the present generation, the society, they say we are from all-cut schools, which is wrong. This is all invented by Hikkadwesi Sumangala Nayakatero, who studied here. So I just mentioned few words. My congratulations and thank you so much coming all the way to the correct place, to the best place. And Nayakatero will take care of everyone, right? So please let me finish the speech as well. Thank you very much again inviting me and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Next, my special invitation goes out to the Chief Prelate of USA, Founding President and Chief Incumbent of the Dharma Vijaya Buddhist Temple in Los Angeles, Incumbent of the Sri Mahaviharaya in Pamankada, Agga Mahapandita, Dr. Valpula Piyanandanayaka Mahathera, to address the gathering.
Our most venerable Mahanayaka Mahathira and all of our Sangha members, distinguished guests, especially Chinese, our friends. We are very happy you are here today, many ways. Do you know, today in the world has a very greatest religion is, of course, you know, Buddhism. In Chinese people are the responsibility to these greatest religions go through the world. In first century BC, one of Chinese emperor came to Central Asia. His name is Kuchila Caspius. His center was Central Asia, today is Afghanistan area. Then his son, Bhima Caspius, continued. His son, greatest king, Kanishka, invaded whole India. He was a Kanishka Chinese root king, called India. That king is the person who introduced Buddhism to China. Introducing the China, how he did? Because Chinese people did not know anything about Buddhism. So he had to make a way to do that. Therefore, he requested Indian people to make a Buddhist statue. Indian artists did not want to do that. They are afraid. Then he had to hire people from Greek artists in make a Buddhist statue. Today we call Gandhari statue. From India to via Silk Road, introduced Buddhism to China. Even today, around the world, Buddhism, without Buddhist statues, we cannot introduce Buddhism, even though philosophy we do have. Therefore, we have a great respect for Chinese people to doing that. Again, this research, Chinese Typology Institute, you selected perfect right greatest place in this land. You know, as our former speaker, Professor Sampath Amartunga explained very well, I do not want to go that details, but I have to explain different details. Of course, in this country, Vidyodaya, Vidyalankara, all of our institute started from here. Not only that. In India, when our Anagarika Dharmapala want to establish Buddhism, at that time he requested Calcutta University Vice Chancellor to start a Buddhist and Pali department. He says, no teachers, what to do? Then he says, yes, I'm going to give a teacher. He is this temple, one of the former abbot, Suryagoda Sumangala Mahathira. He started Calcutta University Pali department early 1896 he started Pali department. From Pali department, then he started many other places, Calcutta, then India, many universities in England, and so forth. Buddhism went to the Western through many Buddhist scholars like Anukul Datta, Sukumar Datta, Nalin Datta, so forth, many scholars built. Other hand, there was another teacher learned from here, his Venerable Vidurupala Piyatissa. He studied in this temple. Vidurupala Piyatissa Mahathira's one of greatest student was Ananda Guruge. He really started in America, one of universities, Buddhist university. And he did a lot of work, wrote over 100 Buddhist books. So for this institute is the greatest institute, especially Venerable Mapalagama Vipulasara Mahathira, his Buddhist statue around the world. Most of our temple we worship it, even including my temple in Los Angeles. I know more around 1,000 temples around the world. Main sign is here in this institute donated Buddhist statue. Now, present abbot and in charge here is incredible qualities he has.
Religious temple in
He
Colombo.
was abbot
The Buddha
in
statue
Buddha Gaya.
located at Bihar
He
Mahadevi
did
Park.
lot of work to do in
The replica of
Buddhism.
Alkana Buddha statue
He
in
was
front of
in
Bandar
America,
Naika International Memorial
advisor
Hall.
to all of our
The
temple,
repairing
my
of the
temple.
broken nose of the
Around
Samadhi Buddha
10
statue in
years, he
Anuradhapura
did
Mahaviharya
tremendous way
was
into
done
the
with the
Buddhism.
contribution
He
of
started many
Aotearoa
centers,
and the
but he did not want to have one. He was offered couple of temples. Then finally the donor says, well, sir, you do not want to get any responsibility, but I greatly appreciate you are introducing good young monk to those things. So Venerable Vimalasara Mahathera, now world figure. Our World Sangha Council of, in the world we have a Sangha Council. He's the General Secretary for English section. Of course, in Chinese communication, everything he's going to do that. So therefore, in American Sangha Council, so much respect him. So much respecting him. Therefore, American Sangha Council want to him to honor. He doesn't have time. He doesn't want to have those respect. Therefore, we in America, we want to organize a special meeting to honor him, congratulate. He become the secretary of our World Sangha Council. Behalf of Sri Lankan Sangha Council in America, we make a special certificate to give to him. Sri Lanka Sangha Council of North America wishes to convey congratulations to the most Venerable Dr. Maitpitte Vimalasara Mahathera, Abbot of the Parama Dhamma Chaitya Pirivana, for receiving the title English Secretary World Buddhist Sangha Council in recognition of his dedication, services to the Buddha Sasana. His compassion and kindness is a shining example to the all. Then the behalf of the Sri Lankan Sangha Council in America and Canada, myself sign, give to the most venerable Vimalasara. He is a really remarkable, very excellent monk. Without him, very difficult for American Buddhism to continue. But while he is staying here, also help us to do works. Thank you so much for everybody's, and especially Chinese delegation. You are really selected greatest wonderful place as well as the greatest leader. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, successful work for helping promoting the Buddha Sasana. Thank you.
Thank you, Nayaka Mahathera. Next, to speak a few words on the topic Introduction of the China Tibetology Research Center Delegation and regarding the MOU, My invitation goes out to Mr. Li Dichan, Deputy General, Director of the China Tibetology Research Center.
Distinguished guests, the Most Venerable Vimalasara Mahasara, Mr. Wang Kai, and other distinguished guests, good morning.
十分感谢维玛拉萨拉长老和圣法佛学院的盛情邀请和热情接待。
We are very gracious of your invitation for inviting us to Sri Lanka and to the Parama Vina.
也感谢各位高僧大德和各位朋友们的光临。
Thank you for inviting us here.
美丽的斯里兰卡是南传佛教的发祥地，也是重要的佛教传播中心。
The beautiful Sri Lanka is an important center for Buddhism.
圣法佛学院和维玛拉萨拉长老在佛教界享有盛誉。
The Paramara and the Most Venerable Vimalasara Mahasara is very well known worldwide.
圣法佛学院是佛教人才培养的摇篮，培养了大批佛教人才，也为中国佛教培养了大批人才，成为中国佛教和斯里兰卡佛教友好交往的象征。
So the Paravina has educated many talents of Buddhism, and it is a sign. The Paravina is a sign of the friendship between China and Sri Lanka.
在此，我也简单介绍一下我们中国藏学研究中心。
Please allow me to give a brief introduction of China Tibetology Research Center.
中国藏学研究中心成立于1986年。
CTRC was established in 1986.
它是我们中国最大的专业研究机构，藏学研究专业机构。
It is the largest institute for Tibetan studies in China.
也可以说是世界上最大的专业藏学研究机构。
Probably we can say it is also the largest institute on Tibetan studies in the world.
中国藏学研究中心有5个研究所，他们是社会经济研究所，主要研究社会、经济、民族等问题。
CTRC comprises 5 research institutes. First is the Institute of Social and Economic Studies, which focuses on social and economic issues and ethnic issues of Xizang.
还有宗教研究所，主要研究藏传佛教。
We also have the Institute of Religious Studies, which mainly researches Tibetan Buddhism.
另外还有历史研究所，主要研究西藏和藏族的历史。
And we also have the Institute of Historical Studies, which delves into the history of Xizang and the Tibetan people.
还有藏医药研究所，主要研究藏医药和藏族文化。
We also have the Institute of Tibetan Medicine and Pharmacology, which focuses on Tibetan medicine, pharmacology, and Tibetan culture.
另外还有当代研究所，主要研究当代的奢藏社会问题。
We also have the last one is the Institute of Contemporary Studies, which addresses contemporary political issues in Xizang.
另外，我们还有北京藏医院、西藏文化博物馆、中国藏学出版社、图书馆等众多事业单位或者是科研单位。
In addition to these 5 research institutes, CTRC also has several affiliated institutions, including the China Tibetology Publishing House, a magazine office, a library, the Tibetan Culture Museum, and the Beijing Tibetan Hospital.
这次和圣法佛学院进行学术交流和文化交流，将有助于推动中斯文化交流和交往。
Our collaboration and cultural exchange with the Paramina would help to promote the relationship between China and Sri Lanka.
也希望通过我们的学术交流，为“一带一路”建设和增进中斯友好文化交流做出贡献。
We hope our academic exchange could promote the One Belt and Road Initiative and also the cultural exchange between China and Sri Lanka.
最后，祝愿韦玛拉萨拉长老和各位高僧大德、各位朋友身体健康、吉祥如意。谢谢大家。
Let me show our gratitude to wish a great health to the most venerable Vimalasara and all the distinguished guests. Thank you all. Just did it.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Next, my invitation goes out to the abbot of the Vijitarame temple in Ambudenia, who is also a past student of the Parama Mahapirivana and an international Buddhist missionary monk, Venerable Murtamure Pannaloka Mahathera.
Good morning, everyone. Most Venerable Mahanayaka Mahathera, Most Venerable Agamaha Pandita Dr. Walpala Piyananda Nayaka Thera, Chief Sangha Nayaka of the United States, Most Venerable Dr. Maitappa Vimalasara Nayaka Thera, Director of the Parama Dhammachethiya Pirivena, and all the Mahanayaka Mahatheras and Venerable members of Mahasangha, exclusive members from the China Tibetology Research Center of People's Republic of China, and distinguished guests. Indeed, it's a great privilege for me to speak few words reflecting my happy and successful student life of this great institute. My name is Venerable Murtamure Pannaloka. I came from a rural village in Mathura district. And I was a bright student of this esteemed and oldest institute of monks' education. I started my student life here in Parama Dhammachethiya Pirivena in 1979 as a novice monk at the age of 12. I was one of the youngest student of this Pirivena. The warm welcome I received on the first day is something I will never forget. The director at that time, Dr. Mahapala Bhagama Vipulasara Nayaka Mahathera, and the principal of the Andavala Devasiri Nayaka Mahathera, and all the teachers were living individuals who practiced loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, appreciative joy, mudita, and equanimity, upekka to all students. Really, they were like our parents, guided us on the right path and giving all the opportunities for us. And our seniors were always supportive and encouraged us to do the right thing. The knowledge, confidence, and motivation I received from this institute helped me to travel around the world with confidence and preach the teachings of the Buddha to different audience in different cultures without any hesitation. This institute is a treasure for me, which gave invaluable qualities of my life. Today, my disciples are studying and getting training here. I sent them here because I know this is the best place for them to get not only education but also learn the way of life. Today marks a significant day for Parama Dhammachethiya Pirivena to sign a MOU with China Tibetology Research Center. With the highest confidence, I say you made the very wise decision. As the saying goes, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So you can go, we can go far together. I am delighted here today, and also I must mention that the present director, Venerable Vimalasara Nayaka Mahathera, we have been each other for about 45 years. He is a monk who can make impossible possible. Okay? That talent he has. And you you chose the right person to work in Sri Lanka. And before I end my short speech, I pray this MOU every success. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable Murtamure Panyalokatera. Next, I would like to invite the professor of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, director of the Center for the Study of Chan Buddhism and Human Civilization in the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Professor Shui Yu, to speak a few words.
Most Venerable Vimalasara, Mr. Li Dechen, Deputy General Director of CTRC, Mr. Wang Kai, the Counselor of the Chinese Embassy to Sri Lanka, Venerable members of Mahasangha, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to be here and participate in the ceremony signing of a memo of understanding between PDCP and CTRC. In fact, I'm quite excited to be back in this pavilion. I think some of you may know, and some of my friends here, 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago, in 1986, I was one of 5 students sent by the later Mr. Zhao Puchu, chair of the Buddhist Association of China, to study in Sri Lanka under the supervision and guidance of Venerable Mahapulasara Mahathera. And on that occasion, I still vividly remember the reception ceremony also, I think, held here and in that shrine room. Most Venerable Rahura chaired the reception ceremony, and Mr. Zhang Chenli, then the Counselor of Chinese Embassy to Sri Lanka, also attended the ceremony. Both of them encouraged us not only to study hard, that means to study Theravada Buddhism through Pali language, but also promote cultural ties between China and Sri Lanka. We, and as they said, we are the cultural or Buddhist ambassador to both two countries. We also inherited the historic, some kind of duties to carry out this kind of responsibility and duty for these two nations, tied together historically, culturally, through Buddhism. So today, we're here to participate the historic events again, and to witness the sign of the memorandum of understanding between PTCP and the CTRC, which I believe will certainly pave the way for the new development of a cultural exchange and communication of two nations through collaboration of Buddhism. The CTRC
is one of the most important institutes for study of Tibetan Buddhism and culture in China, as Mr. Li just said, probably in the world. While PTCP is one of the most prestigious college, the pioneer for the study of Theravada Buddhism, as just the Venerable Vimarsara introduced. I think it becomes the beacon of or pioneer institute for Theravada Buddhist studies. Actually, that's why we are attracted here as 40 years ago. So Chinese Buddhist Association sent us to study here in this very period. And we stayed here for 5 years. And we started together with the local Sinhalese monks, live together, eat together, and study together. I think still remember here in these classrooms. So it's a very wonderful memory for me to think of it. So this collaboration today that we're going to sign of the two institutes would certainly strengthen the courage, the ties between the two nations, contribute to the mutual understanding and the friendship of the two great nations. So this agreement signed by today will forward the mission of strengthening the cultural ties of Buddhism, setting up the once more paradigm for the new collaboration of two nations and peoples. Therefore, I sincerely hope and pray for the successful and fruitful collaboration and looking forward to take part in these activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we have reached the moment we all have been waiting for. That is the signing of the MOU between the CTRC and the Parama Chetya Mahapirivana, through which we believe that it will strengthen the bilateral relations and Buddhist studies and explore potential areas of cooperation between Sri Lanka and China for the dispensation of Buddhism. will now be presenting tokens of appreciation to our Chinese delegates. Our tokens of appreciation will be presented by our Most Venerable Dr. Mai Tipe Vimalasara Mahathera. Firstly, we will present a token of appreciation to Mr. Lee Dichan. Firstly, we will present the token of appreciation to Mr. Lee Dichan. Next, Mr. Dawat Siren. Ms. Yunba. Mr. Fang Xin. Ms. Gao Yin. Ms. Malina. Mr. Jehungo. Professor Shui Yu. Mr. Wang Kai, who is the third secretary of the Chinese Embassy. And Mr. Jin Enzi, who is the officer of a Chinese embassy. Thank you, everyone. As today is a very special day for everyone here at the Parama Pirivana, we figured out today would be the ideal day to launch the new website of the Parama Pirivana website. For that, I invite Mr. Dilip Jayavira, who is a renowned businessman and the chairman of George Stewart & Co. and Derana Media Network. now be witnessing the launching of the official website of the Parama Chethiya Pirivana. Thank you, everyone. Next, to deliver a brief speech, my invitation goes out to the President of the Sarvodaya Shramadana Movement in Sri Lanka, specialist in community medicine, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. Before that, I would like to invite Mr. Dilip Jayavira to speak a few words.
Karutara Mahasangharatne Navasarai and the friends from CTRC, the delegation from China and distinguished guests and friends. Let me first of all say that our Venerable Might Be Vimalasara Thero is one of the very exceptional bhikkhu leaders that we have today in our country. And I am not being biased just because he's from my village and we went to brother schools in Gaul, but he's a leader who has proved his capacity in taking the supreme philosophy of Buddhism and the religion to not only the Sri Lankans but to the people of the world. It is due to such leaders only that we have been able to protect this great philosophy that can heal the whole world with our Lord Buddha's few words of wisdom, and that he has shared with the world. So as Sri Lankans, we are very proud of the fact that we as a country taken the leadership in protecting and furthering this philosophy and the religion, and we take it as a duty of our nation. Also, I must say, as you can see, this very place has been started in 1841, if I am right? And this place itself has given so much to the nation and the world in terms of popularizing Buddhism and taking its true value and sharing that with the people of the world. So it is very significant that we are here today and to witness that you're signing a memorandum of understanding with CTRC, and this will mark another milestone. This very place that Sri Lanka has gained so much for Buddhism. And I must again thank my dear friend Maitipe Vimalasara Thero for the leadership that he is taking and showing us the giving us the guidance and showing the path to the Sri Lankan, irrespective of whether they are Buddhist or not, to take this philosophy to the rest of the world in that same spirit. Thank you. Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Now my invitation goes out to Mr. Vinyari Ratna, who is the president of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement in Sri Lanka, and who is a specialist in community medicine, and who is the president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, to speak a few words.
ගරුතර මහා සංඝරත්නයන් අවසරයි. Most Venerable Malwane Panyasara Mahanayaka Thero, Most Venerable Dr. Valpala Piyananda Nayaka Thero, and the Venerable Dr. Maitipe Vimalasara Nayaka Thero, Chief Incumbent of the Parama Chethiya Mahapirivena, and Venerable Sirs, and also the respected delegation representing the China Tibetology Research Center, distinguished invitees. In the interest of time, I'll be very short in my presentation here today. It's with great joy and deep sense of honor that we gather here today to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests from the People's Republic of China. Your visit to our temple, and I'm a resident of this area, is a testament to the enduring bonds of friendship and cultural exchange that has long existed between our two great nations. China and Sri Lanka share a rich tapestry of historical, cultural, and spiritual connections that date back to over 2 millennia. Our ties were forged through the ancient Silk Road, where traders, scholars, and monks traversed the seas, bringing them not only goods and treasures, but also ideas, philosophies, and religious teachings. Buddhism, which holds a revered place in the hearts of both our peoples, is one such precious gift that has transcended borders and time. As a lay Buddhist, closely connected to the historical Parama Chethiya Mahapirivena, I wish to also welcome the distinguished delegation from CTRC to our village temple this morning. My family has been associated with the temple for over 7 decades, and it's a great pleasure and honor for me to speak a few words to express our gratitude and appreciation to our Chinese delegation. We are aware that CTRC is a leading think tank and a national academic research institution that studies the history, current situation, and the future development of Tibetan-related counties and cities in Tibet and the 4 provinces of Sichuan, Yunnan, Gansu, and Qinghai. The center has contributed significantly to the body of knowledge and practice on Tibetology. Your willingness to carry out extensive international academic exchanges and cooperation in Tibetan studies is greatly appreciated. I am a Sri Lankan Buddhist who is also representing the largest non-governmental development and humanitarian organization in Sri Lanka, the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement. And the founder of the Sarvodaya movement, my father, late Dr. A.T. Hariratna, has had decades of close relations with China and the people of China. And our movement is also based on Buddhist teachings, and we work in more than 15,000 village and urban communities to empower them and to make them self-sufficient and ensure sustainability. We believe that partnerships are very important, and today the MOU signed between the Parama Dhammacetiya Mahapirivena and CTRC is a historical moment, and such collaboration should be based on scientific evidence and mutual respect. I am sure that the values we share will make this partnership between the two great institutions achieve significant results in the respective research and collaborative academic activities that will be carried out. This visit is a celebration of our shared heritage and an opportunity to strengthen ties that bind us. As we stand here in this sacred place, we are reminded of the teachings of the Buddha, which advocate for peace, compassion, and understanding. These values are more pertinent than ever in today's world, and it's through such exchanges that we can hope to foster a deeper sense of global harmony. As we come together to partake in this ceremony, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom that Buddhism has imparted to us. Let us remember that our diversity we find strength, and in our unity we find peace. To our Chinese friends, we extend our deepest gratitude for your visit. We hope that your time here will be filled with meaningful experiences and cherished memories. May the bonds of friendship between China and Sri Lanka continue to flourish, and may our shared commitment to the principles of Buddhism guide us towards a better and a more harmonious future. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, my final invitation goes out to one of the main people who assisted our most venerable, Dr. Maitupe Vimalasarathera, in making this event become a reality, who is the coordinator of today's event, Ms. Anushka Mendis, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Mahanayaka Thero of the Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Most Venerable Malvane Panyasara Mahanayaka Mahathero, Chief Incumbent, Director Parama Dhammacetiya Mahapirivena Ratmalana, Deputy Registrar of Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Secretary General of the World Buddhist Sangha Council, Most Venerable Dr. Maitipe Vimalasara Mahathero, and Venerable monks, Mr. Li Dwashong, Deputy General Director and the esteemed delegates of the CTRC, and Mr. Wong Kai, the Third Secretary of the Chinese Embassy of Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, members of the Pirivana and Dhamma School staff, members of the Dayaka Sabha and the Pirivana Trust, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is an immense honor and privilege to stand before you today as we gather to ceremonialize the start of the fruitful collaboration between the two institutions, the Parama Dhammacetiya Mahapirivena Ratmalana and the China Tibetology Research Center of the Department of International Exchange and Cooperation, China. First and foremost, I would like to express our profound gratitude to the most venerable monks, including Mahanayaka Thero of the Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Most Venerable Malvane Panyasara Mahanayaka Mahathera, Sabdharma Kirti Sri Tipitakacharya, Venerable Divyagaha Yasassi Thero, Chief Incumbent of the Bauddhayatana of Vatrappa Road, Mount Lavinia, the retired Deputy Principal of Ananda College, Colombo, former Principal of Bhikkhu Training College, Ratmalana, Venerable Dr. Bellangila Dharmaratana Nayaka Thero, Chief Incumbent of the Bellangila Ajamaha Viharya, Agamaha Pandita, Dr. Valpala Piyananda Nayaka Mahathera, the Chief Prelate of USA, founding president and chief incumbent of the Dharma Vijaya Temple, Los Angeles, and the incumbent of the Sri Mahaviharya, Pamankada, who grace us with their presence today. Your spiritual guidance and blessings are a source of inspiration and strength for all of us. Thank you for being here and for your unwavering support. I extend heartfelt gratitude to the Deputy General Director, Mr. Lee Dashong, and our honored guests from the CTRC. We really appreciate that you chose Paramadama Chaitya Mahapirivana as an intermediary and a facilitator in Sri Lanka for this joint venture in enhancing research studies and opportunities. A special thanks goes to Ms. Malina for doing the coordination on behalf of the CTRC. The effort of Professor Zhu Yu of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, the director of the Center for Study of Chan Buddhism and Human Civilization of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and Mr. Zheng Honggao in initiating this program is highly appreciated. Mr. Wang Kai, the third secretary, and Mr. Denzhen from the Embassy of People's Republic of China in Sri Lanka, your presence here is a testament to the strong bonds of cooperation and friendship we share. We are truly grateful for the time and effort you have invested in us for this significant occasion. I extend my sincere thanks to the chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, for his support given to the succeed of our event, academic and research endeavors. Dr. Vinyari Ratna, President of Sarvodaya Shramadana Movement in Sri Lanka, specialist in community medicine, President of Sri Lanka Medical Association, and also Mr. Ashoka Hettigoda, the Managing Director of the Siddhalepa Group, Captain Ajit Pires, Executive Chairman of the Sea Line Group and Cinec Campus, Mr. Dilip Javira, the Chairman of George Stewart's and Derana Media Network, Professor Praneeth Abesundara, Chairman of the Arts Council of Sri Lanka, Senior Lecturer of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology of the University of Sri Javadanapura, Mr. Mana Peruma, the Commissioner of Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council, Brigadier W.S. Rajkaruna, Director of Rehabilitation of the Mihindu Seth Madura Athidiya, Brigadier T.S. Balasurya, former Director, Rehabilitation of the Mihindu Seth Madura Athidiya, Deshabandhu Dr. Pabli Silva, Sri Lanka's legendary chef and Director of Culinary Affairs at Mount Lavinia Hotel, Mr. Sudat Jayasundara, Attorney at Law, and all our local and foreign distinguished guests, your presence adds immense value to the gathering. Your support and the encouragement are invaluable as we continue our journey towards shared goals and mutual growth. We are deeply appreciative of your commitment on fostering international collaborations. I would like to acknowledge especially the driving force of the event, Most Venerable Dr. Maitipe Vimalasara Mahathero, for his guidance and unwavering support for making this event a success. Group Captain, Engineer Mr. Munasinghe, and members of the Air Force, Sri Lanka Police, Venerable monks, and the members of the Pirivana staff, members of the Dhamma school staff, all the members of the Dayaka Sabha and the Pirivana Trust, staff of the temple, and all the service providers, I really appreciate the support extended. It is evident that the success of our event is a result of collective efforts. The strides we have made would not have been possible without the dedication and hard work of every individual involved. Our MC of the event today, Ms. Imaya Bogoda, thank you so much for all your support. In closing, I extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for your contributions and support. Together, we have remarkable success, and together, we will continue to achieve even greater heights. Thank you once again for being here and for your unwavering dedication to our shared mission on increasing the weight of joint research programs and stimulating academic exchange and cooperation in the field of Tibetan studies. Thank you. Sheshe.
Thank you, Ms. Anushka. With that, we have now reached the end of today's morning session. While I thank everyone for joining with us today for the morning session and with the hope of strengthening cultural relations between China and Sri Lanka through the MOU, we will now conclude the morning session with the blessings by the Venerable Mahasangha.
Sabbitiyo vivajyantu sabbarogo vinassatu Mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata Sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu Mangalang rakkantu sabba devata Badhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba Rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena Tada sotti bhavantu te.
With that blessings, the morning program is over, but afternoon we will have an academic program regarding the development of cultural relations between China and Sri Lanka. You all are invited to participate in our library conference hall at upstairs. So that prior to that, all the small monks needed to sit on for the photo, the group photo. We missed this morning for the blessings of the rain. In some අපිට ආශිර්වාද වැස්සක් උදේ ආපු නිසා අපිට බැරි වුණා group photo එක අරගන්න. පොඩි හාමුදුරුවෝ දානශාලාවට යන්න කලින් කරුණා කරලා වාඩි වෙන්න අපේ ගෞරවනීය මහා සංඝරත්නයටත් ආරාධනා කරනවා අපේ චීන ජාතික අපේ අමුත්තන් සමග සමූහ ඡායාරූපයට පෙනී සිටීමට